Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Christmas Eve. I'm trying to finish up my candy, so I am moving on to my candied pecans. And what you're going to need for that is you're going to need 1 egg white. You're going to need a half a cup of white sugar and a half a cup of brown sugar. You're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. You're going to need a tablespoon of cinnamon. You're going to need about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and about 4 or 5 drops of almond. And you're going to need 2 teaspoons of water. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our wet ingredients in here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so in your bowl here I've got my 2 teaspoons of water, and we're going to do our egg white. Of course this egg is not going to bust correctly, but you can kind of just go back and forth. There we go. Now you get your egg white in there, okay, and then you're going to put your teaspoon, or I always like to just go like just about a cap. About a cap is about a teaspoon. And then we're going to put our couple of drops, maybe about 5 or 6 drops of almond. Almond is completely, up to you. That's just something I like to do. I just like the way almond smells and the way it kind of just adds a little bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to beat this until frothy. So let me get this done and I'll be right back. Okay, so once you got that frothy, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put in your 1 to 1.5 pounds of pecans. I like to try to get the halves, but I mean, you're always going to get some that are broken. If you might want to check, make sure you don't have any that are kind of that dark, meaning that they're probably burnt tasting or kind of bitter. So, and then in a bag, you're going to put in your sugar, which is again half a cup of white sugar and half a cup of brown sugar. You're going to put in your 1 tablespoon, and I've lost my tablespoon, kind of like your tape when you're doing presents. You always kind of misplace stuff. So you put a tablespoon of cinnamon. So you just add that in there. And then you're going to put in about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So you just kind of like, I don't know, just kind of like a little shake, I guess, to me. And then you're going to get that mixed up. We're going to stir up our pecans, and I'll be right back. Okay, once you've got all of your pecans coated and you've got your dry mixed up, which again, this is a half a cup of sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, a tablespoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, just a little bit of salt basically. So then you're going to take your pecans and you're going to pour them into your bag. Okay. And then you're just going to shake them up. Now you're going to want to shake them until you make sure that they're all coated. So let me get this, make sure that they're all coated, and we'll go on to putting them on our parchment paper lined cookie sheet. Your oven should be preheated at 300 degrees. Sorry, I forgot to say that. Or you can use aluminum foil. If you use aluminum foil, make sure you spray it with some cooking oil so that it doesn't stick, and then it makes it harder to kind of move around. Okay, now as you can see, the mixture, all of the dry has been absorbed onto the pecans. So you're just going to put them on the cooking sheet and you're going to spread them out. Now get them as spread out as you can. I don't need these overcrowded, so I'm probably going to move these onto a bigger cookie sheet. So I'm going to do that. But once you get them all lined out, and again, they should have a little bit space in between them, you're going to put them in the oven at 300 degrees for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you're going to take a spatula and you're going to kind of move them around. And then you're going to put them back in the oven for an additional 15 minutes. Once that's done, I will be back. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. So basically all you have to do is you just kind of like move them around a little bit. You can take a spatula. And I mean, you don't want to, work them too much, but you just want to kind of move them around so that they make sure that they brown on, get nice and crispy on both sides. So I'm going to finish getting these kind of stirred up, and then I'm going to put them back in here for another 15 minutes, and then I'll take them out and let them cool. Okay, for some reason I couldn't find my large cookie sheet, so I just had to separate them onto 2 cookie sheets. So what I did was 15 minutes the first time, took them out, you know, moved them around a little bit, flipped them over, and then did another 10 minutes so that they didn't overcook. So these are cooled off a little bit. They're crunchy. They're sweet, but they're not too sweet. If you've ever been to like Buc-ee's or one of those, and you got the candied pecans, these are like that, but they're not as hard. The ones at Buc-ee's or one of those places, they're usually really, really hard. I mean, like almost like teeth cracking hard. These are still, I guess, because these are fresh pecans. I'm lucky. I live close to some local growers, so I can get fresh pecans. So that could be why these are nice and moist. They're nice and sweet. They're crunchy. And these are my favorite of all the candies. I like the vanilla pretzels, but I can sit here and munch on these pecans all day. So once they cool, I'm going to put them in the little gift baggies, and they'll be great for giving, for snacking, for whatever you need them for. Tomorrow, I'm going to do my mixed nut caramel clusters, because my back is killing me tonight, so I'm pretty much done on the candies today. But if you have any questions about any of the candies I've made, just let me know. I'll answer you in the comments. If not, enjoy, y'all.